Welcome, Yogi, to this Yin Yoga practice to release tension from the low back. You don't need any particular props for this practice, though if you have a blanket or even a bolster, have it nearby just in case. So we'll begin our practice today lying down in constructive rest. So please come to your back. Bend your knees. Have your feet not too close to your bum, but not too far away. And just let the knees fall in towards one another. A slight turn in of the feet. Allow the shoulders to slide under your back. Maybe close your eyes. And just take a few rounds of breath here to arrive on your mat. If you've been moving quickly today or had a lot going on already, this is just pressing the pause button, or slowing everything down. Find a sweet fullness to the breath. And just let it move at a pace that feels good. We'll actually start with a little bit of gentle movement for this yin practice before we take our holds. So separate the knees a little, take a breath in, and when you exhale, let both knees drift over to the right. So windshield wipers, you can take your hands out to the sides if they're not there already. Inhale, let the knees drift back up to the middle. And on your exhale, they travel over to the left. Let the whole breath out, take your time. And inhale, lift the knees back up to the center. And exhaling, let them go over to the right. Inhaling to center. And to the left. And back to the middle, and to the right. Finding center one final time, we'll go over to the left. And rise back to center. And so we're carefully going to come up to sitting and transfer over to tabletop. And again, we're actually going to begin with a little bit of gentle movement as we make our way into our first poses. So just again, to help release the low back, a little bit of stretching first before your yin hold. So if you'd like a blanket under your knees, you could place one there. We're going to lower the belly and breathe in into cow pose. And hold there for the exhale. And take a breath in. And hinge back to a child's pose even. Hips back towards your feet. And gentle round through your whole back here, breathing in. And out. And we'll come back up, table, into that cow pose again. Tailbone up, head up, and belly down. A full breath. And back to child's pose. Allowing the hips So come as far back down towards the feet as you can and allowing for that gentle round through your whole spine. And breathe all the way down to your low back. And one more time, rise up. Cow pose. Taking your time to find the back bend, belly down. Enjoy your full breath. And then settling back into child's pose. And again, your full breath. So to our first yin hold is going to be Sphinx pose. Shift forwards and up and lower down to lying on your front. This is a slightly shorter hold than the rest of our holds for 2 minutes in Sphinx pose. So that's where your forearms are straight ahead of you. If you have a lot of tension when you do this in your low back, that being our focus today, if this feels a lot of tension when your elbow is under your shoulder, move your hands further forwards and that will decrease the intensity in your low back. Even if you need to go quite a long way out, it's fine. So find about a 50% effort, not too much sensation. Close your eyes. Relax tension from your face. You can start to release your Sphinx, widening your elbows, slowly lowering down to your front. Rest your head onto your hands. And we'll spend a minute just feeling whatever you feel, especially as we've decreased the intensity there in the low back. This time in rebound is one of simple awareness. Invite the breaths all the way down into the belly. We'll start to lift our way up and out of this and back up to all fours. And bring the knees in. If you need a cat to release even further, you can do so. Just rounding your back, chin to chest, tailbone tucking. Our next posture is child's pose. And so if it's possible for you, keep your knees together in child's pose, as that affords a little bit more release for the low back. If that feels really uncomfortable for you, you can widen the knees, that's fine. And alternatively, you can use your blanket to support underneath your thighs if the knees are a little tense with the hips back towards the feet. So just give you a few moments to get settled in child's pose. If you're comfortable enough putting your hands by your feet, you could try that. And the target here is to have a gentle round through your whole spine. So like I say, if the knees feel a little tension, you could try placing a blanket underneath between calf and heel. And if either the knees or the feet feel much too uncomfortable in child's pose, you can take this into a reclining child's pose, which I'll demo really briefly, hugging the knees in upside down. Okay, so you can always come to this variation if child's pose on the knees doesn't feel good. And we're in this pose now for 3 minutes, yogi. So find a depth you can sustain. Take a deep breath in, yogi. And start to make your way out. Hands under the shoulders. And help yourself upright. Take all the time you need. Move slowly. And then we will take a rebound posture. Just lying down. flat on your back. To stretch out through the legs and feel any sensation that arises. Now, if flat is uncomfortable for your knees, you can, of course, bend them. Tune into the sensations of your body, from the tips of your toes all the way up to the top of your head. And we will come up to sitting. Get yourself comfortable sitting. I'm going to elevate my hips on a blanket. That works for me. You might find the same. A cushion or a blanket or a pillow might help you in this pose. We're going to be folding forwards. And we'll extend the left leg out straight and tuck the right foot into the inner thigh of the left leg. If you would like some support under this right knee, you could place another rolled up blanket or towel under there, or a block if you've got a yoga block. And sit up and breathe in. And we'll start to fold forwards. And remember, this is approximately 50% effort in yin, so not going towards your fullest fold. And because we're targeting the low back today, you could explore walking the hands out to the left side of the left leg, to the outside of the leg. And just see how that feels. Find support if you need it underneath the hands or underneath the knee. And again, this is a 3-minute hold. So soften. Breathe. Nice, easy, full breaths. Ease your way out, breathing in to help you rise. Stop part of the way up, exhale. Continue to rise the rest of the way as you breathe in. And stretch your right leg back out. Pause for a moment. Let's tuck your left foot in. Anywhere on the inner right leg again. Remember, you can take time to support this left knee, left thigh with your blankets or pillows or towels. On your next exhale, start to lean forwards to any degree. And relax into the pose. We're not forcing our way into it. We're finding moderate sensation, mild to moderate sensation. That's enough. If you want to, walk your hands to the outside of the right leg. Let's take another 3 minutes, breathing deeply all the way down to the left low back. And you begin to rise. On an inhale, come about halfway up. Exhale, pausing at that spot. And rise the rest of the way on your inhale. And as you exhale, release your left leg. And then you can start to make your way to lying down on your back again. You might move your blanket all the way out of the way, or you could put it behind your head as a pillow. Enjoy a few more breaths, either knees bent, a little kinder on the low back, or lying flat. Ready for your next pose, you can bring the right knee into a bend. Just lengthen the tailbone away from you a little, and then pull the right knee all over the rest of the way up in towards you. Hold behind your thigh or hold your shin. If this feels a little bit too much for your low back, you can have your left knee bent. That can be really nice. So choose your options, perhaps try both. And then settle into stillness, relaxing all around the low back, and the shoulders and your face. Letting go of a right thigh or shin, you start to release the right leg. You can pause with your foot on the floor. Bend your left knee and place the left foot on the floor. And then pull the left knee in towards you. Hold on to the thigh or onto the shin. You can, if you like, stretch the right leg out straight. Try both the straight and the bent variation. See which one feels best for your back. And settle in. Relax all the way down the length of the leg. Feel that softness rising all the way up the spine, up to the top of your head, across the shoulders, down the arms. Release your hold around the left leg and let your foot come back to the floor. And slide your right foot back up and in into a bend. Let your knees fall in together. Widen the feet and turn the toes in. And bring your feet back to about a hip distance apart. And take your right ankle over the left knee, left thigh into a figure four shape. You can adjust your hips a little bit if you need to as you do this. Let the legs go all the way over to the left so that the sole of your right foot lands on the mat. And you're letting the outer left leg rest on the mat too. Wiggle your left foot a little bit, make sure it's not stuck. And if possible, how this can get really nice into the low back and waist, is if you're able to hold on to the right ankle or the right foot with your left hand without it getting much more than your 50% effort, then you can kind of see how this feels through the right waist. Just settle in again. If that hold makes it a little bit too intense, of course, feel free to not hold on to the foot or the ankle. And your right arm can be out straight, it can be in a bit of a bend, a 90-degree bend like a cactus. You can turn your head ever so slightly right, again, not too much. Begin to release, so let go of the foot or the ankle if you have it. Bring your right arm back in and turn your head to neutral. Lift the knees up. At some point you can unravel the right foot from the left knee and return the hips to center if they ended up to one side. Same thing the other way. Left ankle onto right knee. Move the hips perhaps a little bit to the left if that helps you, and let the legs travel over to the right so that the sole of the left foot finds the floor. And make sure that the outer right leg is comfortable, the right ankle and foot aren't bound up. And then if you'd like to hold on to the left ankle with your right hand or the left foot with your right hand, you can. Just making sure that doesn't make it too much for you to hold for the duration. Left arm can be straight out to the side or like a cactus. And you can try head at neutral or a very slight look off to the left. Release the foot if you have a hold. Bring the arm back in. Start to lift back up. Head to center. Unwinding the legs and knees. Realigning your spine. Let's take a moment before Savasana for a deep breath. And if you have some extra blankets or pillows that you can roll up and place behind your knees, or a yoga bolster, I recommend doing that. Especially if this is because your low back is tight. A little bit of support under the knees can feel really nice. Let's settle in for a few minutes in Shavasana, laying flat, knees supported. If you like, you could have constructive rest if lying this flat just doesn't feel good. And just check your body from toes to crown. Making sure that the lower legs are relaxed. The thighs, the glutes are soft. Make sure you're not holding any tension in the belly. And your shoulders can melt and be supported by your mat. The same with the arms. If you feel yourself holding onto your mat with your hands, turn them up. Loosen the jaw and the eyes. ever so slightly begin to move your toes and your fingers. And then you can start to turn the feet in and out. Maybe point and flex. And clasp your hands if you like, stretch them up over the top of your head. Breathe in and reach your fingers and toes. And as you exhale, bring your hands back down and bend your knees, walk your feet in towards you. Lengthen the low back, tuck the tailbone towards the knees, just give it a moment. And carefully help yourself to your side. Make it comfortable resting on your side for a moment. Just rest there. And welcome up to a seat. Once you're sat upright, bring your hands to a prayer position. If you have time to select a guided meditation, this will be a good time to practice. Take a belly breath in and out. Thank you for joining me, Yogi. Namaste.